Good morning. Thank you for joining me today to get insight into executing a seamless IPO. In this presentation, I've highlighted some key areas of focus that you, your team, and your external advisors should ensure are addressed as part of your IPO journey. A successful IPO is a multifaceted process and requires significant effort and commitment from management as it is truly a transformative event for the company. This process requires four areas of focus. First, meticulous planning. The earlier you start planning and transforming, the more effective the process will be. Management of strategic risks, which includes financial risks, operational risk, and legal and compliance risks. Robust compliance with GAAP. We will focus on IFRS in this presentation. And effective stakeholder communications, which ensures proper messaging, buy-in, and proper expectations are set. While the pathway to becoming a publicly traded company is intricate, the potential rewards, such as substantial capital infusion, elevated brand recognition, and enhanced market positioning, are significant. In most cases, companies will be required to adhere to IFRS in Canada. However, there are some options for companies to use US GAAP. This is primarily when a company has a foreign private issuer status in the US. You should consult your advisors when determining which GAAP to select. We will focus on IFRS compliance for this discussion. For companies that have not yet prepared their financial statements in accordance with IFRS, transitioning to these standards is a key priority in preparing an IPO. This conversion process will require not only transition in accounting methodologies, but also a thorough assessment of your company's information reporting processes to aggregate and to structure the required financial data for IFRS reporting. If you are a private company, reporting has not been robust enough to this date, this could require significant effort. Therefore, if you're thinking of an IPO, focusing on these changes early will make the whole process flow much more smoothly. Interdepartmental, interdivisional collaboration is critical to ensure you are successfully adapting existing processes and IT infrastructure to align with the IFRS compliance that is required. You may find that your ERP system will not support what you need to in order to prepare, which could require a time-consuming ERP implementation. So getting started early is critical. Throughout the IFRS conversion process, it is vital to consult with your auditors. Being proactive with your auditors will ensure that financial statements and accounting policy issues are addressed early and ensures that all your choices are consistent with IFRS and your auditors are on side. You should ensure that all required memos and supporting documentation are put in place to make sure your first IFRS audit goes smoothly. Following the IPO, you will need to ensure that you have the systems and processes in place to maintain your IFRS reporting. This is essential for sustaining investor trust and adhering to regulatory standards and requirements. Effective risk management is key for an IPO's success. It is essential to systematically identify and mitigate various critical risks, including financial, operational, and legal and compliance risks. We'll review these risks over the next few slides in more detail. Looking at financial risks can adversely affect a company's stability following its IPO, and you will need a robust risk management process to address these risks. There are three main areas of risks to focus on. First, liquidity risk. To effectively mitigate liquidity risk, you must adopt comprehensive cash flow forecasting and develop contingency plans for unexpected expenditures. Maintaining adequate working capital post-IPO is critical. Market volatility risks. These include potential fluctuations in exchange rates and interest rates that can materially impact revenues and profitability of your company. You should consider implementing hedging strategies to mitigate this risk where appropriate. Credit risks. Maintaining a favorable credit rating is essential as it influences investor trust and overall borrowing capacity. Enhanced credit management strategy should be a priority to maintain optimal financing conditions. We now look at operational risks. Transitioning to a public company heightens your operational risks. These risks can adversely impact a firm's reputation and erode investor confidence. You must conduct thorough risk assessments to ensure continuous monitoring to mitigate operational risks. This includes actions such as first, diversifying your supply chains to ensure you have alternative suppliers and logistic partners to minimize potential disruptions. Implementing robust cybersecurity measures to protect your data, prevent data breaches. You should also consider purchasing cybersecurity insurance for added protection. You must develop contingency plans for key events such as IT disaster recovery, market downturns, and staffing issues. You should invest in training your employees to manage potential risks, maintain operations, and this training will help with engagement and retention. Finally, upgrade your technology to handle increased data and reporting needs as a result of the IPO. You must also review legal and compliance risks. Public companies face intense legal scrutiny, and with non-compliance leading to penalties, lawsuits, and reputational damage. There are several things you should look at to mitigate these risks. First, establish governance controls by implementing strong internal controls, including audit committees and clear policies and procedures. Engage legal experts to ensure that all filings and disclosures comply with regulations. Meet all quarterly and annual reporting obligations according to all publicly required timelines. You should also prepare for litigation by having adequate insurance and a legal strategy in place for potential legal challenges. Also, conduct regular compliance audits to ensure ongoing compliance with laws and regulations. Another essential area of focus is clear and transparent communication with stakeholders throughout the IPO process. Pre-IPO communication involves developing investor materials to set expectations. The key item here is the IPO prospectus, which outlines financial information, risk factors, and future strategies, and is crucial for setting expectation. You must also train executives and staff on key messaging to ensure consistent messaging when interacting with the media and investors. A key message is key to maintaining investor confidence throughout the pre-IPO period. Once the IPO is completed, post-IPO communications will focus on ongoing communication with investors. This includes providing regular updates on financial performance and strategic direction. You need to hold earnings calls, provide quarterly updates, and issue press releases to help manage investor relations and build trust in the company's prospects. Moving into a public company listing will require media and regulatory engagement, which was not required when private. So you will need a dedicated communications and investor relations team to ensure that consistent, accurate, and timely information is shared with external stakeholders. Now, looking at post-IPO considerations for public companies. Once the IPO is completed, you must also navigate significant operational, strategic, and cultural transformations intrinsic to public market dynamics. A public company is faced with increased transparency. You must disclose comprehensive financial and operational data. You will need to ensure you have put in place robust reporting processes and internal controls to ensure the accuracy and integrity of the information you present. You will be faced with increased regulatory scrutiny. Compliance with regular filings, auditing of financial statements is essential for a public company. You will need to be vigilant to ensure that you adhere to securities regulations, government standards, and IFRS. The transition to public status also induces significant corporate shifts in culture. You need to ensure the alignment with investor expectations while maintaining internal cohesion. The shift to a public company can be difficult on staff, and you need to monitor their engagement. You need to balance external pressures with the need for a unified internal culture that supports the operational effectiveness and achieving strategic objectives. As you can see, successfully executing an IPO requires a comprehensive strategy and meticulous planning. You need to focus on compliance with legal, regulatory, and financial frameworks. You need to implement risk management strategies. You need effective engagement with stakeholders throughout the process. By rigorously addressing these challenges, you can maximize the value of your public offering, drive growth in your business, and establish a plan for long-term market resilience. Thank you.